Hello, callers. Welcome back to Viva Barca and welcome to another interesting episode where we are going to be discussing on some interesting updates. We start with the search for a new right back as Barca are reportedly debating on three options for right back slot, including this 2022 World Cup winner Juan Foyth. We are going to be discussing on that as we progress. Secondly, talking about Abde as the Barca's 15 million rated winger has convinced Xavi and the player is closer to staying than leaving. We are also going to be discussing about that. So guys, as we get right into the full stories, please do ensure to subscribe if you haven't. Turn on the post bell notification to always stay notified whenever I post a new video. Consider liking the video and please watch it right up to the very end. Barcelona's pursuit of a new right back is well documented by now, and the names of João Cancelo and Ivan Fresneda have been touted as the most likely options for the club. But as per Moy Lawrence of ESPN, there appears to be another name in the mix in the form of Villarreal star Juan Foyth, with Barca debating over the three players to strengthen the right back position. Foyth is a player that Barca have followed for quite some time now and have tried signing him last summer as well. An injury prevented the move from happening back then, and since then, the defender has continued to an upward trajectory in his career, winning the World Cup with Argentina and performing solidly for Villarreal. Foyth's name has been under consideration again this summer, with the Blaugrana liking him for his defensive solidity, experience, and long-term prospects, given that he is still 25 years old. However, what hinders them from making a move for the Argentine international is his 54.6 million euro release clause, which is an issue in the current financial climate. Despite the impending sale of Ousmane Dembele and Franck Kessié, Barca have also held extensive talks with Real Valladolid for Ivan Fresneda and have even sent an offer worth 8 million euros plus variables for him, even though the 18-year-old's release clause stands at 20 million euros. Fresneda, for his part, is said to be keen on a move to Barcelona and has an agreement with the club, but there is no consensus for the player signing up to now. As such, Cancelo appears to be the most likely to arrive at the club. The player has the okay from manager Xavi Hernandez and wants to make the switch, with personal terms already agreed as well. The structure of that operation with Manchester City could prove to be tricky, but as things stand, the Portuguese international seems best placed to join Barcelona to address the right back problems. Of course, the issue of a right back has been making a lot of news this transfer window as Barca are still to get their hands on a solid right back. Of course, we know that right back is one area that Barca have been having a lot of weakness in, because a lot of players have come and gone. There's none, we hardly see a player since Dani Alves left, a player who have come to solidify that right back and make it his own. We have not seen that, and that's why Xavi is trying to stop that issue once and for all. And I think that this summer window is the best chance for us to do it. We understand that financially we are not in good stability, we are not in good health, and of course the likes of João Cancelo still the main choice for Xavi. It still looks tricky because if Barca are going for a permanent move, let's be honest, it looks almost impossible because he's rated at 50 million. And we know Barca they can't pay such an amount in this current financial climate at the club. Of course, so Barca have also been linked with Juan Foyth. Again, links for Juan Foyth has been cooled down, but it have reignited. According to latest report, this Argentine player who plays for Villarreal, but the thing is, he's also an expensive player as Villarreal have been demanding 54 million. As we know, Barca will not pay such an amount at this time. So there's still a lot of complications. If Ivan Fresneda still remains in Xavi's books, but it still looks complicated as the player who is relatively cheap. Barca can afford him. That's a good thing, but there's that general consensus within the Barca camp is not there. When I talk about the general consensus, not everybody agrees on Ivan Fresneda joining. Xavi and his coaching staff don't like Fresneda. They don't want him. They are not of the idea of Fresneda coming to Barca. But whereas we have Deco and Alemany are very much open to the idea of Ivan Fresneda becoming our new right back. So we can see that there's a lot of confusion. And that is why the Fresneda deal looks so complicated ever since. Because had it been there was that general consensus, then I don't think we could have been discussing about a new right back now. I think the thing could have been settled because he's relatively cheaper than the other right back targets. And I definitely think that if push comes to shove, Barca should better go for that rather than staying like that. That's just the honest truth. If Barca push for the Joao Cancelo and they realize that they can't afford it, or there's a lot of difficulties, even for a loan move, then I think they will only go for even Fresneda. And let's not forget, Barca are not going for Joao Cancelo on a permanent deal. They are going for Cancelo on a loan deal. On a loan deal, which will cost the club around 27 million euros. Because if they are going for a permanent deal, it's going to be very, very tricky for the club. So let's see how it's going to look like as the right back position continues to remain the top priority as things stand. Then moving on to the next story of discussion. Barcelona winger Ace Abde started two of his side's three preseason games, and according to what Gabriel Sanz has mentioned in Mundo Deportivo, his performances have convinced Xavi, so much so that the player is now closer to staying than he is to leaving. Abde, who spent the previous season on loan at Osasuna, had good enough exposure, playing 34 games while scoring 6 goals. As a result, even President Joan Laporta affirmed that the plan with Abde is to assure his continuity and make sure he gets enough game time this upcoming season. He said, "The idea is for Abde to be in the first team. Xavi has told us that he wants him and I'm very happy." So, is Dembele's departure a blessing in disguise? One man's pain is another man's pleasure. Barca are extremely gutted to lose Dembele to PSG at this point in the transfer window, but all this comes as good news to Abde. If Barca do not sign a replacement, he will get to feature more often next season. For what it's worth, Abde's performances last season did not go unnoticed, as it is believed that the winger had other offers from La Liga, Premier League, Bundesliga, but it would only take an irresistible offer for the suitors to dialogue or to dislodge Barca. So guys, with that we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, bye bye.